Are you wondering what the comparative focal lengths are between the Hitcam and the ScopeCam 2 4K? There's so many names for these cameras that you use with Airsoft, and it gets really confusing, I must say. Anyway, I'm not here to explain too much today. There are plenty of other videos online explaining the differences between a lot of scope cameras, to be fair. But today I'm going to be addressing a question that I wanted to ask for myself. Focal lengths between the RunCam, ScopeCam, I don't even know at this point. ScopeCam, RunCam 4K 2. So it's by RunCam, model is ScopeCam 2, and it's the 4K variant. That's what I'm trying to say. This thing right here, I'm comparing to this thing right here. This one's named the Hitcam. Anyway, the reason why I had this urge to make this video is if you are getting into Airsoft like I am, and you don't know the focal lengths of, what lenses you want to put on the end of your replica, then it could be really confusing unless you've got a store next to you where you can go to and, test them out and have a look. It's really hard to know what you're buying. For example, GoPro say that their focal range is in between two focal ranges, and that doesn't make sense. A focal range is a focal range, and even in a specific mode like linear, where you want it to be a tighter frame, it's still not telling you what the focal range is. Besides that, GoPros also have one lens, so they in actuality only have one real focal length, and which is one reason why I went with, or have a feeling I'm going to go with one over the other, the fixed focal range. The focus point is, it seems like it's so close to infinity, so set to the furthest point, that everything in between is just out of focus. This is the 25mm lens. I'm going to show you guys some footage just so that you guys can, make your mind up on what you feel is better. Unfortunately, it won't be on the field, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get an idea of if it'll work out for you or not. So, like I said, loads of comparisons online. I won't go through everything because one, I'm not tech savvy enough to do so. Well, I am, but I can't be asked for that. You're here for the focal lengths, because I don't see that anywhere else online. And I'm also going to check out the equivalent between a mirrorless camera, a full frame mirrorless camera. I'm going to find out what 25mm really is. Once connected, you can then see ScopeCam 2's footage. So my target today is only probably within the 1.5 meter range. The reason why I'm doing this is to replicate CQB and where I've been and where I'd want to get Hitcam. So yes, we're not shooting everyone from, 1.5 meters away. But if you ever were at that focal range, you might want something that will capture that too. Some may ask, why would you want to run a scope cam at that close range if you've already got a GoPro on your head? It's different. I'd probably have it tight like what this is currently, but each to their own. I still think the scope cam is just a little bit different. And the beauty of this is I can see everything on the rear screen. Okay, so holding these two cameras together like so, I'm gonna try and start recording. Yeah, I can do that from the app. I know the sensors are probably somewhere here, but I am gonna line them up at the actual end of the lens, just because on a replica setup, size does matter in that comparison. So it's not exactly fair, but on some people's replicas, they might want to have it at a certain point. If this is bigger, then it's just bigger. So I'm gonna line them up just by the lenses. We've got the pleasure of looking at an Xbox, a small NAS drive, and some lenses. As you can see on the ScopeCam 2 4K, it's tight. It's tight. The newer one is, I'm already happy with what I'm seeing. Yes, it's more work on the focus side of things. Would you believe this? A video on focusing and my mirrorless camera isn't focusing. Ridiculous. As you can see, you just got a much wider field of view and it's in focus. So, as I mentioned, if you're going to CQB and you want to get everything captured, then this would make a lot of sense. I can only see a circle, but I think that's telling the story as it is. You can just get a much wider field of view with the bigger Hitcam, and I think it just works better for me because you use it as a scope. Yes, CQB for the most part, you don't even really need it. You can go off of the feel and the direction of it. So I'm happy. I think I'm going to be sending the RunCam ScopeCam 2 back, just because for me, it's only got one purpose. If I'm going to, I believe, other skirmishes that have a lot more space, probably about 10 to 30 meters, then yeah, great. I think I'm always going to enjoy, no, maybe not always. I think I'm going to enjoy CQB for a little bit, and it's nice to know that this will be able to take me, the Hitcam will be able to take me from, you know, CQB, but then back to anything that's longer range. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Well, I'm aware that this video might be super long already, so I'm gonna end it here because it was only supposed to be 2 minutes. I know this is a random change for anyone who has watched this channel in the past, or anyone coming over, seeing if there's any more content airsoft wise. Yeah, I'm not too sure if I will. Even though I've started recently, I've definitely gathered a lot of gear very quickly, if that makes any sense. All the gear, no idea. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just leave them down in the comments. And I'm literally going to be sending this back, so I'm not really gonna get a chance to, you know, compare other things, but I have used it for a weekend, so I've got an idea of, you know, just how the lens itself works. Like I said, I'll do a quick comparison as we leave on, you know, GoPro focal length in linear, and then a comparison from a mirrorless camera on full frame, just to give you guys the stats to allow you to make up your own mind on focal length. Not the actual scope cam, but when it comes to a scope cam for your replica. Right, leave it there. Take care. Until the next one. If there is a next one, I don't know. Subscribe if you want. You know, I can't, at this point, I can't, just, yeah. 2.7, 60K. The warping's better, for sure. But I don't know if there's a slight crop. GoPro comparison's just wild. Don't listen to them about their focal ranges either, because clearly this is just widespread. This is in linear. So if you don't know what that means, it's the tightest option that the GoPro can give. My bad for the last GoPro test. I'm used to running my GoPro in vertical mode, but to be honest, it doesn't matter anyway, because all you guys would have seen is wider field of view. Lastly, as promised, this is my DSLR mirrorless full frame equivalent. Side by side, I'd say the widest focal range is probably, currently I'm sitting at about 69 millimeters. That will literally give you the approximate field of view working with RunCam ScopeCam. I'd then say the RunCam ScopeCam 2 4K, that is probably a bit tighter, so that's closer to 100 millimeters. Hopefully this has helped you understand the focal lengths of all of these different cameras to help you make your mind out about what you want to do on your airsoft battles. At least I have the option of changing things, unlike the ScopeCam 2 4K. All right, I'm not Gerald Undone, but that's it. Editing Marv here. I didn't think that I'd be making more videos. So as you can probably see, what you can see from the ScopeCam is very different to the focal length or the width of the screen that you actually record. So I don't know how to feel about that. That feels too wide, but I guess you can take what you want from it. I was just expecting it to be maybe a little bit more closer to the circle. I don't know if that's me being silly or not, but that was definitely a shock. So I'd say from top to bottom, you're okay, but you've got a lot more space on either end when it comes to the actual capture of this sensor. I guess not a bad thing, just startling. And I guess, yes, this has to double as a real life scope. So if you had all of that other screen real estate, then it'd be harder to see your targets and so on and so forth. So I kind of get why it's done, but it's just a little bit misleading. I think I'm still going to go ahead and keep this one. I'll enjoy it for as much as I can. If I've got anything more to say, then I'll upload it and let you guys know. So basically, just to reaffirm how complicated everything has been, as you can see, that's the Hitcam's, or what it sees within the focal range at its widest. Just here is me comparing it. So the actuality is not 70 mil, it's probably about 35 or 40 mil in comparison to a full frame camera sensor. Sorry for the confusion, but I wasn't using my phone to look at the Hitcam, so I was only seeing that small reticule circle, which was taking up about, it was actually in a little bit more, so it was probably about here. But then it had all of that it was recording as well. So 35 millimeters is in and around its widest field of view. Tightest I'm not too worried about because I don't believe it will be a problem zooming. So yeah, we'll leave it there.